Welcome to the Escape Room Experts Podcast, your source for tips, techniques, and strategies on how to approach escape rooms and how to use them for both fun and team building.
I'm Sandy Keene.
And I'm Tony Duckett.
And we are the self-proclaimed escape room experts. Okay, so just to give you, an idea as to what we're going to talk about today, we're going to tell you a little bit about us and how we got started, and then we're going to share with you a little bit about what we see in the escape room, so that you start to get an idea, if you want to visit an escape room, what it looks like if you want to just come and play versus what it looks like if you want to come and use it for your business, because
Right.
businesses of all sizes, from a 6-person business to a 6,000-person business, can use it effectively. And so we're gonna share with you just a little bit about how we see escape rooms as being beneficial, both for fun and for work. So this podcast is about escape rooms, and we thought we would start out by telling you what an escape room is. It is not a panic room, not locking you in a room so that you have to hide from people. An escape room is it's kind of an entertainment that came over from Japan about 3.5 years ago.
Right.
And the idea is that you and a group of people, they can be family, friends, colleagues, paramours,
Right.
Are locked in a room, and you have 60 minutes to find clues, solve puzzles, unlock locks, and figure out how to get yourself out of that room.
Now, in that whole conversation is the purpose too. The purpose of an escape room is to make all of those people she just described work closely together. So no matter how smart you are individually, there's no way you could get out of these rooms by yourself. It's really going to require that you rely on other people for information and their excellence and their pursuit of excellence for you to be successful.
And that's not a scary thing. It may seem like it's a scary thing, but actually what's fun is a lot of activities that people do together these days, you work side by side, but you don't actually need to interact. You can go
Exactly.
bowling, you can go axe throwing, you
Go
can
to
do all
dinner.
kinds of things. You go to dinner, but with an escape room, you really have to be together.
And and the conversation and communication is critical. So we see examples of all kinds of people coming in the room who are young, old, and all different types, but they all have to suddenly talk to each other. And everyone's important in the room. There's someone who's really great at finding things. There are other people who are great at putting them together. And together they make an awesome team. So it's the whole spoken hub thing.
And that's what gets us excited about it. Now, talking about us, we probably should tell them a little bit about us. You go first.
Well, I'm Tony, and I'm a former professional athlete, so my entire life has been about team. So when I left sports, I became a salesperson, and then I grew through the ranks, and now I'm an executive at a large organization, and I run a pretty big sales team. But think about I run a sales team, and what I have to do is get that team to work flawlessly, not only within themselves, but with all the other departments, with marketing and operations. So in order to deliver a great product to a customer, we all have to be firing on all cylinders. So team is everything to me.
And my name is Sandy. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've owned a lot of businesses over the year, all small businesses, but my background is theater management, and I am the puzzle person in this scenario.
Definitely not me.
No, definitely not him. So Tony and I are kind of like the yin and yang of the escape rooms, because I'm the behind the scenes person. I am the puzzle master here at our business, which is called the School of Hard Locks in Oceanside, California. So I put together the puzzles, and the reason why is because I love puzzles, and I always have. So we work really well together. I do the back of the scenes stuff, and he does the front of house kind of stuff. And we found ourselves a situation that really works well for both of us.
It's funny. Let's talk about how we found this. Well,
Okay.
why don't you start that story? 'Cause
Okay.
Sandy and her lovely wife decided to tell me that we should go and do something, but just trust me.
Yeah.
Which
so
I don't usually do.
No, but he did. He trusted me, which was good. Because Tony and I have been friends for a long time. So I heard about this concept of escape room from a podcast of all things. And I had no idea what it was, but it sounded like fun. And so I started doing research, and there was no research. There was nothing you could find about escape rooms. This was about 3 years ago. And so there was one that I could find in San Francisco, and my wife and I decided to fly up and check it out. And we did it and walked out and went, oh my goodness, we've got something here. This is really cool. So I did kind of a sample one for a client of mine. And after we did that, I went to Tony and I said, will you and your wife come with us and just trust us? You take it from here.
So after I twisted my wife's arm and said, we're going to go do this, we go. And we go up to this weird little factory, abandoned building looking place, and we walk in. And we go up these back staircase through
Oh God, it was kind of creepy.
And there's this weird guy standing there with a top hat. And he starts to tell us what we're about to do. And I'm questioning if I should be her friend anymore.
Yeah, he's looking at me like, what did you get me into here?
I was like, what? Maybe we shouldn't be friends. But in a couple of minutes, this guy tells us what our puzzle is going to be about. And they put us into this room. And the four of us,
we had to climb through a hole in the wall
that's right.
to get to it.
And then he starts showing up on all of these places, and we got all of this stuff there, and everyone's trying to do things. And together, we eventually, about 15 minutes in, we said, hold on a second. What are we doing here?
Yep.
And we kind of pulled together and started working more systematically toward finding the solutions to getting out. And when we walked out of that, I had this epiphany, which is probably the same one she had, which is there is something here.
Yeah, I looked at him and I said, do you got it? And he said, oh yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Because we both have customers that we work with. I talked about what I do, and we both have this consultative approach to business and everything else. And we realize that we've been trying to find ways to make people work better together. And we were just forced in a situation to have to do that. And I don't think there are any other. I've done a bunch of team building exercises in my life over the 18 years I've been in business.
Yeah, me too.
And I've never had one that forced me to work this closely with someone before.
Yeah, and so from that, we built a room, and we started out with one room in Carlsbad, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And what we found was we were learning things about people that we had never seen before. So there's two sides to escape rooms from our perspective. There is the business side that Tony's talking about, and then there's the entertainment side, which is people getting together to really enjoy being together.
Right. So one of the stories that actually really charged both of us up is this heart-tugging story that Sandy tells much better than I do. Why don't you tell that story?
So again, we're seeing things that we never expected. We put this together to, because we were like, hey, this is a great idea for team building. But what we've learned from the entertainment side is there's so much to the dynamic of the people in the room. So we were watching, we have cameras in the rooms, and we were watching, and there was this family. It was like 9 or 10 people. And there was a grandmother and her kids, the next generation, and then the grandkids. And I think the youngest person in the room was probably like 9. But the person who we were so excited about was the 12 or 13-year-old. And when they were done, and they didn't get out of the room, it's important, I think, to say that. They did not get out of the room. But when we opened up the door and went in to talk to them, one of the things we overheard was the 12-year-old turn to Grandma and say, gee, Grandma, you're really smart. And he had no idea that she knew the types of things that she knew.
Now, if you think about it, if any of you have 12-year-olds out there, 12-year-olds have no use for their parents or their grandparents. So to see that kind of interaction in a room is amazing. Because there was a time in our lives, when we actually used to go to our elders and ask about their experiences so we wouldn't have to fall in those same holes. But because of technology and all of these other things, kids have access to information we never had before. But they forget that they have access to information and that woman is related to them. What an amazing story that was.
So what we have found from the entertainment side of the business is that escape rooms are great for lots of different things. They're great for big families because you have multi-generations. They're great for date night. However, what don't they want to do?
It should not be your first date.
Not your first date.
Because you will learn way more than you want to know on that first date.
Right.
You need to kind of get to know each other first before you can yell and scream at each other.
What do we say? A fourth date, right?
Fourth is
you got
about
over
right.
that big hump of the third date, right? We all know about that third date thing. You get to the fourth date, now you can start seeing how people are in the real world. Yeah. So it's great for date nights. It's great for dating. It's great for a group of friends. We get a lot of girls' night out. Not so much guys' night out, but we get a lot of girls' night out, and they have so much fun. Now, one thing we don't recommend, don't drink before you go to the escape room. You might want to save the drinking for after.
It does not help.
No.
It requires you be sharp.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean that you have to be smart, just sharp.
We had a group last night, apparently, because I got a text from the escape room. We had a group last night who were regretting the fact that they had gone out drinking first. Right?
That was actually a corporate group.
Yes, it was a corporate group.
Yeah.
So it's good for that. It's also good for groups of people. We get a lot of birthdays, and I'm not just talking kids' birthdays. Escape rooms are the kind of thing that grown-ups like to do, because it really is grown-up entertainment. There aren't that many grown-up entertainments like this.
I mean, if you get your friends together and you play cards, if you have barbecues and you sit around and laugh and joke and talk about lots of subjects, this is just like that, only you're all working together.
Yep.
And you can have 10, 11, 12 people working for a common goal. It's an awful lot of fun.
Oh my God, it's a lot of fun. So that's the entertainment side, but then we have our corporate side. And now you have to understand that Tony and I started this business to be a corporate thing. So we love what we learn from our corporate groups.
You know what's interesting is every corporation is a kind of a listing of lots of departments. And the ability to make each of those departments seamlessly work together is where their success is. So we do this for companies right now. And when we bring our clients in here, the light goes on. Oh, I didn't realize that operations was that important to my organization. I didn't realize that marketing was doing all this other work. You also get an appreciation for each other while you're in the room.
Oh, without
as well.
a doubt, because you see how teams interact. You see the different types of people and how they contribute to a team.
Yeah, and contribution is really what team is all about. It's not about being a star. It's about contribution. So that word will probably come up in every one of our podcasts.
Oh, without a doubt. So this podcast is really going to be about all